Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim. This is the Real Sports Talk. I'm going to do a quick preview of the Ravens and Patriots game, which I think should be a good game through the first few quarters. And I looked at this game hard. And I'm not going to give you a huge in-depth preview because, first of all, what I normally do in a lot of these previews is preview or recap a game that these two teams have already played. That's what I did for the 49ers and Giants because they've already played. The Ravens and Pats have not played this year, and so I don't have that to go off of, obviously. That being said, I have to go off what I've seen over the past few weeks. And what I've seen is that the Ravens have had a lot of trouble with the media, Joe Flacco, but that everyone's not even in the same board. You see Terrell Suggs on TV, saying this is my guy, this is my quarterback. No one does what Joe Flacco does. And then you see Ed Reed on the hear Ed Reed on the radio saying, he's got to step it up, he's got to play better. And both are right. I mean, I don't understand why Ed Reed has to come out and say that straight to the media, because it just doesn't make any sense. That's something you say behind closed doors, and maybe he knows something that we don't know. Maybe Joe needs his kick to play at his best. That might be what it is. I don't know. But what I do know is that the Patriots are focused, and that the Patriots' game plans this year have just been genius. I mean, they really have. Last week, I know the Broncos weren't the greatest team, but they went ahead and they beat the Steelers. And the Patriots, their defense is terrible for a lot of the year, especially their pass defense. They shut down the Broncos passing. Their front four was absolutely tremendous. Vince Wilfork had a monster game, and I think that is something that can carry over to this game. I really do. And the Broncos have a solid offensive line, and so do the Ravens. But if they can stop one solid offensive line, I think they can stop another. I know Ray Rice is a better running back than Willis McGahee, but Willis McGahee, A, has had a very good season, and B, you have to also account for the fact that Tim Tebow could run, and Tim Tebow couldn't even get out of the pocket last week with this Patriots front four just collapsing on him every single time he snapped the ball. Offensively, we saw Tom Brady just light it up. As I said last week, if he wanted to throw for 9 touchdowns last week, he could have done it. And the Broncos had a damn good defense last week, or this entire season, and really, I think that Tom Brady just shut that defense down shut them down. I guess that's a way to put it. Tom Brady throws for 6 touchdowns, 400 yards last week. The Ravens obviously have a better defense, and I think that the reason... Well, let me get into that in a sec. Let me continue talking about the Patriots' game plan. Last week, we saw Hernandez, the tight end. They gave this guy the ball, and he ran for 70 yards almost. Bill Belichick's plans have just been so genius this season that I cannot predict against this guy. I think that the things we've seen out of him this entire season have shown that he's always been a tremendous coach. But last year they did not have a great game plan to beat that Jets defense, and the Jets did have Mark Sanchez, who is worse than Joe Flacco, and they did beat them. I'm not saying Joe Flacco's a bad quarterback, but they did beat them. But last year was all pass. I just think that the tight ends emerging, Hernandez has been good, but he's been better this year. Rob Gronkowski will finish in the top 10 in MVP voting this year. I think that the emergence of that, Deion Branch had a huge catch this week. I just think it's too much for the Ravens. I think that the Ravens defense is very good, but I just don't think that the Ravens defense is good enough to hold this team to below 21 points, which I think is what it's going to take to win this game. And I don't trust that Joe Flacco, if they get in a shootout, can really compete with Tom Brady. And to be honest, how many quarterbacks in the NFL can compete with Tom Brady? Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. In a shootout, that's just about it. Maybe Matt Stafford, because that Lions' offense is just an incredible passing attack. But not too many teams are going to be able to have success. And I think if you get down, you're going to take Ray Rice out of this game. To me, I think that this will be a good game, but I think that the 49ers and Giants is really going to be the game that you're going to look at and say that was a great game. This game, I think it'll be a decent game, but it's not going to be anything that we look at in 5 years and say, oh, that was one of the classic games. And all the people picking the Ravens, to play the 49ers this season, or in the Super Bowl, I think that's just rooting with their heart. Because either A, they don't like the Patriots, or B, they want to see the brothers coach against each other. And honestly, what difference does it make who the coaches are? I don't think the coaches are the ones out there on the field. I want to see the best matchup. And I did pick the 49ers to play the Patriots. I'm going to take the Patriots in this game. 31-17. I think that's what the score will be. And I did pick the Patriots against the 49ers, and that is what I want to see, because I want to see a tremendous offense against what I think really right now is the best defense left in the playoffs, and that is the 49ers. The Ravens defense is great, but we've seen guys on the 49ers like Deshaun Goldson, who we had on the show, Justin Smith, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, everyone just step up and play huge roles this season. I think that they're the best defense left, and I think Alex Smith has had a tremendous season, and that would be a tremendous matchup to see. That being said, I did not pick that because that's what I want to see. I picked that because I think that's what's going to happen. So leave me your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter, CashKelly_TRST for the real sports talk. #deuces.